If you don't allow yourself to feel your emotions, they don't just vanish. They show up in your relationships, often in ways you don't expect. Let me ask you a couple of questions. What do you feel when I say sadness? When was the last time you were truly sad? When was the last time you cried? Do you reach for connection or do you withdraw? Are you brave enough to open yourself to someone and let them take care of you? These questions help you explore your relationship with sadness. But maybe you're okay with sadness. Maybe the emotion you struggle with more is anger or shame. When an emotion is unregulated, we can't fully accept it or process it. We might try to block it or suppress it, and eventually it can overwhelm us and we just explode. But emotions are not simply bad or useless. All emotions serve a purpose. Anger, for instance, is one of the most commonly blocked emotions. However, anger is an activating emotion. It lifts us and gives us energy. We feel anger when something has been taken from us unjustly and helps us to change something, to protect ourselves, and very importantly, set boundaries. We shouldn't block anger in children. They will need it to say no and to defend themselves. Instead, we should name the emotion, feel it in the body, and find healthy ways to express it. One of the healthiest ways is assertiveness. Then sadness. Sadness appears when something is lost for good or when something has ended. It lowers our energy and makes us vulnerable. But when we're brave enough to open up and someone comforts us, sadness can lead to deep and meaningful connections. It also guides us towards rest and the grieving process. Shame is really uncomfortable, but it also has a purpose. It appears when we feel exposed or uncertain. It helps us become self-aware and signals vulnerability. In children, shame can make them lose contact with themselves and others. Parents need to notice it, regulate themselves, and help restore connection. Otherwise, shame can become so painful that it gets suppressed completely. Fear protects us from danger. It focuses us on the future and helps us prepare. When accepted and regulated, fear is healthy and useful. Evolutionarily, fear is one of the reasons we survived. Guilt can be healthy when it comes from a real mistake. It encourages reflection, repair, and responsibility. It also helps us avoid repeating the same mistakes. But guilt becomes unhealthy when it's overwhelming or appears where we aren't responsible. Often this comes from unresolved trauma where guilt becomes a false sense of control. All emotions have a purpose. Every emotion has a function unless it's unregulated or defensive. So next time an emotion comes up, try to notice it, observe it, learn from it, and gently let go. So what happens when we suppress emotions? If we cannot accept an emotion, we may hide it. It doesn't disappear. Around unregulated emotions, harmful defenses can form, like denial, dissociation, passive aggression, negative beliefs, and reactive behaviors like attacking or over-defending. One of very common defenses is also projection. Projection is when we unconsciously place our feelings onto someone else. And projective identification happens when the other person actually takes in and expresses those feelings. For example, a manager who cannot face their own insecurity treats an employee as if they are incompetent, checking their work, correcting them in public, and expressing doubt. Over time, the employee becomes anxious and unsure, unconsciously carrying the insecurity the manager cannot face. So, this is projective identification. It happens in couples, families, and also in therapy. When we become aware of it, we can learn a lot about ourselves and our relationships. So, face your emotions, or they will show up in ways you don't expect. Notice them, observe them, and learn from them. And then gently let them go if they don't serve you.